Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tyler Hudson Show, a show hosted by me, Tyler Hudson, a show in which we either do one of two things. We talk about something very detrimental and big in the history of the universe and important to everyday life, or we do something else, and that is talk about something that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Today could be one or two of those things, but before we get started, I have a special word. This episode of the Tyler Hudson Show is not sponsored by LaCroix Sparkling Water. But if it was, I would say that LaCroix is a delicious sparkling water with no calories, no artificial sweetener, and no sodium. Only natural flavor. I'm drinking berry LaCroix right now. I already popped the top on accident. I had to start this twice. Oh, but it's still so good. You can find LaCroix sparkling water at stores like the Fresh Market, Kroger, or even Lucky's. That's where I get mine. LaCroix sparkling water. Drink one can, and you'll be a fan. All right, that's the ad read that I made for myself because LaCroix has yet to comment back or reach out at me and let me know if they're interested in me being sponsored by them on the show. LaCroix, I'll do a lot of things. I'll drink so much LaCroix, it's going to be crazy if you want me to. I've tweeted at them numerous times. So if you have a Twitter and you listen to the show, you're a fan of what I do, I really appreciate it if you go to Twitter and tweet at Enjoy LaCroix. That's ENJOYLACROIX. I should be in the spelling bee. And just tweet at them and let them know that they should listen to the Tyler Hudson Show and that they should sponsor the Tyler Hudson Show. Keep the mics on and just support me in my crazy antics. You know what I'm saying? So now that you've done that, thank you for that. Oh, and by the way, I will say there have been people coming up to me and saying, you know what, I tried LaCroix because of your show, Tyler, and I really enjoy it. So thank you for showing me this amazing beverage. And there's haters out there as well. There's people saying, oh, I went and tried LaCroix because of your show, and it's not good. And to them I say, well, did you finish the whole can? And they say, no, because I tried like 2 sips, and it's not that good. And I said, but if you listen to the episode, you would know that I say you got to drink one can to be a fan. And they didn't drink the whole can. That's what it takes. You'll see one day. So for this episode, our main topic today is going to be, by and large, it's just going to be bathroom etiquette. This is something that I didn't think I would ever talk about on this show. Now, if you know me, you know that I've been to the bathroom before. And there's a statistic out there, actually, that says that every single person in this world at one point in their life has gone to the bathroom. So I would like to address bathroom etiquette, and I can only speak of this from a guy's point of view. I tried to reach out to some people and ask, what are some things that girls do in the bathroom, but right now I don't really have much on that. This really stems from one story. So a friend of mine, Dylan Crane, I used to be in a choir with him at U of L Cardinal Singers. Great choir. Had a lot of fun with them. Great experience. But when I was in choir with him at one point, we had to travel to a different country. Or a few different countries, actually. But at one point at an airport, I believe, is when this story happens. If I'm wrong, Dylan, let me know if you even listened to the show. But at one point, we were in an airport, and I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom. All the stalls except for like one were taken. And so I just took it and sat down, had to go number 2, so I started going. It had been a few minutes, and then someone else walks in, and I thought I recognized the shoes, but I wasn't sure. And that person happens to go to the stall that I was in. And they knocked on the door. And like any reasonable person would do, I just didn't say anything. The door is locked, and I just didn't say anything. Now later on, I walked out after a while, and that's what it was. He was still standing there. I had finished up. I was the first person out of the stalls to finish up. And so I walked out, and he looked at me like, dude, what the heck? And I was like, what? What's the problem? And he said, you could have said something. And I was like, wait a second, Dylan. Why would I say anything? That's weird. And he said, no, because like if someone knocks on the door, you just respond and tell them that there's someone in there. And this was new to me, guys. I had no idea. I didn't think this was, and I still don't do it to this day. If someone knocks on the door, I want to know what you guys do. What do you do if someone knocks on the door and you're going number 2? Because I don't, honestly, in that position, I'm in a really vulnerable position. I'm just sitting down there making shortcakes. I don't want to have to talk to anyone. There's a reason I'm not on the phone while I'm in the bathroom. I'm not just nudging the guy next to me. Like I'm not trying to talk to people in the stalls next to me. I think it's clear that if the door is locked, you try to give a little push. If the door is locked, then you just stand there and you wait. Or something else you can do if you walk in and that's your situation is just like, you can always do the little creech under a little bit. Now, I'm not saying put your face and your whole body on the floor just to see, but you can normally tell if someone's shoes are in there, that there's someone in that toilet. Now, I will say this. Dylan has kind of a point. At one point later on, I think the year after, he, I saw him and he said, "Hey, you know what happened yesterday?" And I said, "What?" He goes, "I walked in on someone going to the bathroom because they didn't say anything when I knocked on the door." And I said, "That's ridiculous. Well, you should have just seen that there was someone in there." But I will give him this. There probably is. No, you know what? Never mind. I was gonna say that there's probably some sound argument there that you should say something back. But what can I say? Like, what occupado? I mean, not everyone knows Spanish. Am I gonna say like, "Oh, sorry, taken," or whatever? I just think it's really weird, because then I feel pressured to A, say something, and B, to rush my pooping, which is a natural process we shouldn't be rushing anyway. I shouldn't have to feel rushed when I'm in the bathroom. And so he knocks on the door. I'm just not going to say anything. And to that matter, if you knock on the door and no one says anything, and you think maybe there's still someone in there before I even, after I checked to make sure underneath that there's no shoes, don't just try to barge in, because if you barge in, you might end up seeing someone going number 2, and that would not be cool for anyone. I wouldn't think. That would just be a very traumatizing experience. Just don't do that. Don't barge in. You can always give the door a little push, and if the door gives way, well, I mean, I guess you can't really tell if there's someone in there. But normally, if the door gives way, that's when I would say something. I've been in situations before where I've been in a bathroom, door starts getting pushed, and I'll start talking then. That's when the time is right, I think. But I don't really think that you should have to say anything. And honestly, maybe this is all just me. Maybe it's all in my head, but I've just never been the kind of guy that like responds whenever people, say anything. There have been times where I'll be pooping, maybe even like at work, and I'll be going, and like there's a little kid that really has to go to the bathroom, and if there's only one stall, that really stinks. Like, having one stall should be illegal at any place of business. I'm not sure if maybe it's like a plumbing issue or whatever, but you should have 2. You don't need that big of an area. Like, you need one. I think you need one handicapped stall for sure, and then you have one regular. So that way you can have both, because if you do have people who need the handicap one, then they can use that one, but you don't, whatever. I don't know. I just think that it's a little ridiculous for me to have to speak while I'm going number 2. But anyways, there was this little kid one time, like I was saying at work, that he really, really had to go to the bathroom, but I had just got in there like a minute ago, and he kept doing this thing, and I think this is a little rude, and I think this shouldn't happen in bathrooms. But he's a little kid, though, so I'm not going to hold it against him. But he would go like, "Oh," and it's like, I know you got to go, and this goes for adults too. It's like, I know you got to go, but you don't have to start like whining in the bathroom how much you have to go. I've been in those situations too. There have been times where I've had to, like just hold it. You got to wait there, or like go find a position where it doesn't feel like you're being rushed or whatever. Just hold it for a little bit longer. And this leads me to my next point. What do you do if you're running out of toilet paper in the bathroom? Because per my last rules, I think it's very important that you shouldn't be talking to anyone else in the bathroom while you're going, at least when you're going number 2. I've talked to people before while I'm going number 1. I think it's a little weird, but there's some people out there that really just can talk openly while they're expelling waste from their body. I find it a little odd, but I'm not going to hold it against them. That's fine. But I can't do that when I'm going number 2. Number 1's a little bit more acceptable, whatever. Anyways, what do you do if you run out of toilet paper? Because I'm not gonna ask anyone in the bathroom. There's a few different scenarios here. I think one, if you're alone in the bathroom, you know what you got to do. If you're alone in that bathroom, and I know what you're thinking, Tyler, there's a chance that someone else could walk in. What if it's just not going to happen? If someone else walks in when you are switching from one stall to the next, because if you're alone in that bathroom and you know for certain you're alone in that bathroom, you've looked in your peripheral area, you've looked to make sure there's no one at the sink, there's no one at like a urinal if you're a guy, you just got to go to the next one and see if there's toilet paper in there. I've done that before, and it works out every single time, only because that no one walks in. If anyone ever walks in, you are screwed, my friend. I'm very sorry, but you have been screwed. Like, there's no coming back from that, I don't think. You do not get a redo at that. Someone was walked in and saw you as you were moving from one stall to another because you ran out of toilet paper. And you probably left the mess that you had already put in that other toilet. So you don't get, like, you haven't had a chance to flush that if you forgot, because I know I have a few times. So there's really no coming back from that. Now alternatives, you could always use one of those little seat covers. I don't recommend that at all. I'd rather recommend you do the switcheroo. But if you're not alone in the bathroom, here's where it gets interesting. If you're not alone in that bathroom, you got a few different options. One, if one of the stalls next to you is open, you better pray that God has looked down upon you and smiled, because if the toilet paper thing is on the nearest side, on the opposite side of the wall to you, then you can just get it that way. That's how you get your TP. You just gotta reach under there. Hopefully this doesn't have really low hanging stalls in this bathroom. You gotta reach under there with your arms and see if you can get any of that toilet paper. If not, there's a few other options you have. Here's where it gets tricky. Here's where you might have to talk to someone. There's an old Seinfeld episode where Elaine from Seinfeld, she has to ask someone next to her if they can spare a square, which, as a guy, it's not always a problem for us because, whenever we go to the bathroom, whatever. But you might have to ask someone next to you if they can lend you any toilet paper, but I don't know how that conversation would go. I don't know, man. Like, what do you say? Hey, guy next to me.
Yeah?
I'm in an awkward situation right now. I don't have any toilet paper over here. I have made a mess of this toilet. I really, really need some toilet paper.
Okay. Here.
And then you fumble underneath and you get like a little thing. And just make sure you accidentally don't linger on the hand for too long, because if you accidentally because it's a very weird a very gross situation you've been put in. You don't have any toilet paper at all, and you need some badly. So don't make sure you touch his hand, because you just make sure you touch the toilet paper. Now the awkward thing is going to be this is where it gets really, really weird, because what if you run out of toilet paper? What if that person was so generous, gave you so much toilet paper, but what if you run out for whatever reason? I don't know why. But what if you had El Nepal that day? El Nepal's delicious, but oh my gosh, you run out of toilet paper. Do you ask them for more? It's like, hey, guy next to me.
Yeah?
Hey, thanks for being so generous earlier. I really appreciate the toilet paper you gave me about, probably all of a minute and a half ago.
Hey, no problem.
But we've run into an issue, sir.
Yeah, what's that?
You were so generous with what you did. I really appreciate it, but it appears that I have run out of the TP.
Okay.
So
what are you trying to say?
I'm gonna need a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
And so you gotta keep asking for more until you're done. He might as well just find a way to break into the little thing and give you more rolls. I don't know. But what's gonna be really awkward is this part. Sir, I'm gonna need more.
Oh crap.
What's up?
Now I'm out.
Oh no. Because then what happens if you both run out, at that point, there's just no you're going to have to find another bathroom or do something else. I've already recommended if you want to use the seat covers, but gosh, that's so disgusting. Don't ever do that, please. That's basically, that is the situation where there's no one else in the bathroom. There's no friends outside, because I've been in situations before where I run out of TP, and I literally had to text a friend. I don't know who this was. It might have been Adam Van Rood. Adam Van Rood, shout out to you if it was you. I really can't remember, but one time I was in a bathroom, there was no one else in the other stalls. It might have been that we were in a foreign country, and I didn't know the language of anyone else, and he had to come into the stall next to me and hand me toilet paper. I've had those situations before. People had to hand me toilet paper, and it was a very, very horrible experience. But it was a great moment of friendship between two friends, okay? But if you run out and there's no one next to you, and the stall next to you, the thing is on the other side, so you can't get the toilet paper from underneath, and you're too afraid of switching stalls, you're gonna have to use the seat cover, or just run out of that bathroom,